Okay, so today we're going to talk about YZ85s. It's still a very popular bike. Obviously, it's one of the older models that's currently still competitive, and they can be made even more competitive by some fairly simple add-ons. If we start with the exhaust system first of all, what we use and recommend is the HGS exhaust system, manufactured in Holland. Being a European pipe, more suited to the Australian tracks. The Australian tracks are more like the tracks in Europe than America. So typically it's got as good, if not slightly better, top end than the American pipes, the FMFs, the Pro circuits. But it wins bottom to mid-range. We've tested an awful lot of exhaust systems on our dyno, and time and again HGS proves to be the weapon of choice. So that would be what exhaust system we recommend for the YZ85. Following on from that, another popular modification is the Moto Testing V3 reed valve. Comes in two pieces. The reed valve itself, which has much more reed area, double the amount of reeds, better airflow, much better mid-range. It comes with the carburetor boot. So that's an assembly that's a direct replacement for the Yamaha original equipment. Probably the next thing from there to consider would be an aftermarket cylinder head. The VHM two-piece one is what we recommend, so you get the outer cylinder head casing with the combustion chamber insert. So that simply drops into the head. This one is a bit of a special spec, being the parabol insert. Definitely makes a big improvement in performance on the YZ85. The parabol insert is definitely a good performance increase. So the other good performance increase that YZ85s benefit from is our crankshaft. This crankshaft's in its wrapper ready to go, but the difference over standard is its longer connecting rod. The longer connecting rod does a couple of things. It obviously alters the port timing, but it also increases dwell time at TDC, top dead centre of the piston. So longer dwell time, greater pressure rise. Also the longer rod gives better leverage ratio, so much better mid-range, much better top end. So then all of that extra power can be quite conveniently controlled by a Vortex Ignition, a product that's made in Australia. It's a CDI box. You'll see it's got a little rotary 10-position switch. That selects the map that's actually loaded into the CDI, and then you've got a handlebar mounted switch that switches between two different maps. The way we tend to use these is we have a start map and a race map. So we'll obviously go out the starting gate in the start mode, which will make it leap out of the start. Once the rider's got traction, he simply flicks the switch and he defaults into race mode. The good thing about this as well is you can leave it in start mode when the conditions are wet and slippery, and it'll calm the pile down, make the bike much more rideable. So big advantages to be had by the Vortex Ignition. The only other things, if you're running at the real top level, is a bit of cylinder porting, which we do in-house. Probably big bore carburetor, properly jetted, all set up on the dyno. And yeah, there really are KTM eaters once you get to that sort of specification. And that's what we'd recommend for the Yamaha YZ85.